In the crystalline observation deck of the UES Horizon, Admiral Marcus Hayes watched the approaching alien vessel with measured calm. The ship's bioorganic hull pulsed with internal light, completely unlike anything humanity had encountered in their 50 years of space exploration. This wasn't humanity's first contact with alien life, that had happened 15 years ago, but it was perhaps the most significant. The Collective, as they called themselves, represented the largest alliance of spacefaring civilizations in the known galaxy. Their ship had appeared at the edge of the Sol system 3 days ago, broadcasting peace signals in 12 different languages, including Earth Standard. "They're hailing us again, Admiral," Lieutenant Park announced from her communications station. "Ambassador Narix requests your presence aboard their vessel." Hayes straightened his uniform, brushing off invisible dust. "Remind me of the protocol analysis." The Collective's diplomatic records show no instances of betrayal during peaceful negotiations, the ship's AI, Sentinel, responded. However, their behavioral patterns suggest a hierarchical view of species based on technological advancement and territorial influence. Hayes nodded slowly. The Collective had found humanity, not the other way around. That already put Earth at a disadvantage in their eyes. "Prepare the shuttle. Lieutenant Park, you're with me. Commander Walsh has the con." The journey to the alien vessel took 20 minutes, during which Hayes reviewed everything they knew about the Collective. 12 major species, 37 minor ones, spanning roughly a quarter of the galaxy. They claimed to seek peaceful cooperation, but their history showed they preferred assimilation to true partnership. The alien ship's docking bay defied conventional physics. Gravity shifted smoothly as they landed, adjusting to match Earth normal without any noticeable transition. A delegation waited for them, 3 different species standing together in perfect formation. Ambassador Narix stood in the center, their crystalline exoskeleton refracting light in complex patterns. To their left stood a massive being with armored plates and multiple limbs, a Crocknid warrior, according to the briefing. On the right, a floating creature composed of what appeared to be living energy contained within a transparent shell. Admiral Hayes, Narix's translator, converted their harmonic tones into clear Earth Standard. "Welcome aboard the Harmony of Spheres. We trust our accommodations are suitable." "More than suitable, Ambassador," Hayes responded, noting how the Crocknid's armor plates shifted at his voice. "Earth appreciates the Collective's interest in diplomatic relations." "Yes," Narix's crystal structure flickered with internal light. "Your species' rapid advancement has caught our attention. 50 years from first spaceflight to faster-than-light travel is unprecedented." Hayes detected something in the ambassador's tone that the translator couldn't quite mask. Fear. Concern. Necessity breeds innovation, Ambassador. When the Proxima Centauri colony faced extinction from stellar flares, we had no choice but to develop FTL capability. Ah yes, the energy being pulsed brightly. The infamous Proxima Initiative. Your species risked everything on an untested technology. We succeeded, Hayes stated simply. Indeed. Narix gestured toward a doorway that irised open. Please, join us in the conference chamber. The Collective has a proposition for humanity. The conference chamber was clearly designed to impress. The walls showed real-time views of different worlds across the galaxy, each teeming with alien life and advanced civilization. Hayes recognized it for what it was, a power play. The Collective has watched Earth's development with great interest, Narix began once they were seated. Your potential is remarkable. But potential must be properly guided. Hayes kept his expression neutral. The Collective offers guidance. We offer membership, the Crocknid rumbled through its translator. Under proper supervision. And there it was. Hayes had expected this, the Collective didn't want partners, they wanted subjects. Earth appreciates the offer, he said carefully, but we prefer to chart our own course. The energy being flickered rapidly. That would be unwise. The galaxy is vast and dangerous. Many young species have destroyed themselves without proper guidance. Is that a warning, Ambassador? Hayes asked, his voice level but firm. Narix's crystal structure dimmed slightly. Merely an observation, Admiral. The collective has existed for millennia. We understand the patterns of civilization. Young species require direction. Hayes stood slowly, noting how the crocnid tensed. Ambassador, humanity has faced extinction 3 times in the past century. We survived because we refused to accept limitations placed upon us by others. We appreciate the collective's offer, but Earth will join as equals or not at all. That is not how the collective works, Narix stated, their harmonics sharp. Your species must understand its place in the greater order. We understand our place perfectly, Hayes replied. We are explorers, innovators, and survivors. We extend our hand in friendship, but we will not bow to intimidation. The energy being pulsed rapidly, its containment shell barely containing its agitation. You do not comprehend the consequences of refusal, Admiral. Hayes smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. On the contrary, Ambassador. I believe it's the collective that doesn't comprehend the consequences of pushing humanity too far. We come in peace, but we prepare for war. It's kept us alive this long. As Hayes and Lieutenant Park left the conference chamber, he could feel the weight of the alien stares. They had expected submission and received defiance. In his experience, that never ended well. Sentinel, he sub-vocalized through his neural link once back aboard the shuttle, initiate protocol watchdog. Inform Earth Defense Command, the storm is coming. Deep within the crystalline spires of the collective Central Command, Supreme Commander Rivix watched tactical projections dance across the chamber walls. Holographic representations of human colonies glowed like vulnerable stars, each one meticulously analyzed and marked for the coming strike. The humans continue their military buildup, General Dorn of the Crocnid Battle Fleet reported, his armored carapace gleaming under the ethereal light. They've doubled their fleet production in the past month. They suspect something, Captain Thela added, her energy form pulsing with concern. Our diplomatic failure with Admiral Hayes has made them cautious. Rivix's crystalline form shifted colors, displaying patterns of deep crimson. It matters not. They are still too few, too scattered. The attack proceeds as planned. The council chamber held representatives from 7 of the collective's most powerful species, each one committed to what they viewed as a necessary intervention. Humanity's defiance could not be tolerated. Their rapid advancement and unwillingness to submit to collective guidance made them a threat to the established order. Our analysis suggests their primary weakness lies in their colonial infrastructure, General Dorn continued, manipulating the tactical display. Strike their outer colonies simultaneously, and their unified defense strategy collapses. The human phrase is, cutting off the head of the snake, Captain Thela observed. Though in this case, we're removing its limbs first. Rivix studied the battle projections. 5 major colonies, 27 outposts, all to be hit within a 6-hour window. The largest coordinated military action the collective had undertaken in 3 centuries. What of their new defense systems? Our infiltration units report they're still in the preliminary stages, another council member reported. The humans know something is coming, but they don't know what or when. Their preparations are unfocused. Then we strike now, Rivix declared. Before they can further strengthen their positions. Transmit the attack codes. Across 20 sectors of space, collective warships emerged from quantum space. Their bioorganic hulls shifted to combat configuration as weapon systems powered up. The first human colony to fall was Nueva Terra, its orbital defenses overwhelmed by sheer numbers. The second was Horizon Colony, named for the ship that had first encountered the collective. But at the third target, something went wrong. Supreme Commander. General Dorn's voice carried an edge of panic never before heard from a Crocnid warrior. The Phoenix Colony defenses, they're not preliminary. They're fully operational. Rivix watched in disbelief as tactical displays showed collective ships being torn apart by weapons that shouldn't have existed. Human vessels emerged from hidden docks, their designs unlike anything seen before. Impossible, Captain Thela pulsed rapidly. Our intelligence dash was exactly what we wanted them to see, a new voice cut through the chamber. Admiral Hayes's face appeared on every display surface, his expression grim. Did you really think we wouldn't be watching after your diplomatic mission? That we wouldn't prepare? Rivix's crystalline form flashed with anger. How dare you penetrate our secure communications? The same way we penetrated your ships, your command structures, your secure facilities, Hayes replied calmly. You thought us primitive because we're young. That was your first mistake. You cannot hope to stand against the full might of the collective, Rivix declared, but even as he spoke, more tactical displays turned red. We don't have to, Hayes answered. Your attack fleet is already cut off. Those new quantum space corridors you used to coordinate your strike. We've been studying them for months. They're closed now. Your ships are isolated, divided, and facing prepared defenders. General Dorn's tactical analysis confirmed the humans' words. Somehow, they had developed technology to disrupt quantum space itself. The collective's carefully coordinated attack had become a series of isolated battles against prepared defenders. This is your only warning, Hayes continued. Withdraw your forces now. End this attack, and we can still find a peaceful solution. And if we refuse? Rivix demanded. Then you'll learn why humanity has survived every extinction-level threat we've faced. We don't just prepare for war, Commander Rivix. We master it. The displays went dark, leaving the collective leadership in stunned silence. Their perfect plan, their overwhelming force, had been anticipated and countered. But surely the humans were bluffing. They couldn't possibly. Supreme Commander. A dozen urgent reports flooded in simultaneously. We're detecting massive energy signatures at every human colony. They're not just defending, they're launching counterattacks. Rivix watched as centuries of collective military doctrine crumbled in the face of human ingenuity. They had expected submission or, at worst, a desperate defense. Instead, they had awakened something far more dangerous, a young species that had turned its entire history of survival against extinction into preparation for this very moment. Send the withdrawal codes, Rivix ordered, his voice heavy with the weight of his mistake. Get our people out. Now. But as the tactical displays continued to flood with red, he realized it might already be too late. The humans weren't just fighting back, they were hunting. In trying to prevent humanity from becoming a threat, the collective had created exactly what they had feared most, a unified human race with both the means and the motivation to change the galaxy forever. As the first reports of human ships pursuing retreating collective forces came in, Rivix understood the true meaning of Hayes's warning. The storm wasn't coming. It was already here. Fleet Admiral Jennifer Santos stood before the holographic display in Earth Defense Command's underground bunker, watching hundreds of battle markers trace their paths across the galactic map. Each green dot represented a human task force, methodically pursuing the scattered remnants of the collective's invasion fleet. Status report on Operation Reckoning, she commanded, her voice steady despite having not slept in 36 hours. Task Force Nemesis has secured the Proxima sector, Colonel Blake reported, his dark skin illuminated by the tactical displays. Commander Patel reports all collective forces have either surrendered or been neutralized. And the civilian casualties? Minimal, Admiral. Our early warning systems worked exactly as intended. Most colonies had their populations in secure bunkers before the first shots were fired. Santos nodded, allowing herself a small measure of satisfaction. The collective had thought they were striking an unprepared opponent. Instead, they had attacked a humanity that had spent months preparing for this exact scenario. Message from Task Force Hyperion, Lieutenant Commander Wei announced from her communications station. They've tracked a major collective fleet element to the Denebola sector. Looks like they're trying to regroup. Order Task Forces Hyperion and Orion to maintain pursuit but do not engage, Santos commanded. Have Task Force Perseus move to cut off their retreat route. We're not just winning battles here, we're reshaping the galaxy. The bunker hummed with activity as orders were relayed and battle plans adjusted. On the main display, a new alert flashed, an incoming transmission from the front lines. Admiral, Captain Ramirez's hologram appeared, his battle suit showing signs of recent combat. We've captured something you need to see. A collective command center on their forward operating base in the Vega sector. We found their strategic archives. Santos leaned forward. What kind of archives? Everything, ma'am. Future invasion plans, technological databases, star charts of regions we didn't even know existed. But most importantly, we found their contingency plans. Explain. The collective. Ramirez paused, his expression grim. They've done this before. Dozens of times over centuries. They find promising young species, offer them guidance, and if refused, they attack. Those who survive are forced into submission. Those who don't. Santos felt a cold anger settle in her chest. How many species? At least 15 completely wiped out. Dozens more subjugated. They call it maintaining galactic order. The command center fell silent as the implications sank in. The collective wasn't just an alliance, it was an empire built on the bones of civilizations that had dared to defy them. Send me everything, Santos ordered. And get me a secure channel to the Defense Council. The operation parameters just changed. Hours later, Santos stood before the assembled Defense Council, her hologram projected into chambers around the world. The collective isn't just a threat to our independence, she explained. They're a threat to every emerging civilization in the galaxy. If we simply defend ourselves and stop, they'll just do this again to someone else. What are you proposing, Admiral? Council Chairman Thompson asked. We extend Operation Reckoning. Phase 1 was defending our colonies. Phase 2 was pursuing their invasion fleet. I'm proposing Phase 3, we dismantle the entire collective power structure. Murmurs filled the council chamber. That's a massive undertaking, someone observed. We've already proven we can match and exceed their military technology, Santos continued. Their only real advantage was numbers, and they've lost that with their failed invasion. More importantly, we've discovered something they never expected. She gestured, and a new hologram appeared, communications intercepts from dozens of subjugated worlds. Not everyone in the collective supports their leadership's actions. Many of their member species joined under the same threats we faced. They've been waiting for someone to challenge the system. You're talking about revolution, Chairman Thompson realized. I'm talking about liberation, Santos corrected. The collective's leadership thought they could bully humanity into submission. Instead, they've given us a cause. Every world they've subjugated, every species they've threatened, they're all potential allies now. The council chamber erupted in discussion, but Santos wasn't finished. We've already received messages from 3 different species within the collective, offering to share intelligence and support our operations. They've watched how we fought back, and for the first time in centuries, they see hope. And if we succeed, someone asked. What then? Santos smiled grimly. Then we build something better. Not an empire built on threats and domination, but an alliance of equals. The collective wanted to force humanity to know its place in the galaxy. Well, they're about to find out exactly what that place is. As the council deliberated, Santos returned to the command center, where the galactic display showed more green dots converging on collective strongholds. Humanity had entered this conflict fighting for survival. They would end it fighting for something far greater, the the freedom of every species that had ever faced the collective's guidance. The hunters had become the hunted, and the galaxy would never be the same.